I think it was Luke from Catfish and Carp did the build your own rod and reel challenge.
Yeah.
What do you think? You want to build one too?
Let's try it, man.
Howdy folks, welcome to this episode of The Weekend Angler. As you saw, Kris Flores and I have a contest going on right now. We are going to each build a rod and reel and kind of do a homemade rod and reel challenge. So we are here at Rural King tonight and we are going to get all the components we need to build that rod. So let's go ahead and take a trip inside the store and we will get that started. We're going to build a fishing rod. Let's see here. First we're going to need a rod. Come on, Caitlin. Let's go find a fishing rod. Come on.
I need my popcorn.
Yeah, let's go this way. You want some of that alfalfa hay? You want to eat that?
No.
No?
That's not yummy.
No, that's not nummy. Come on this way. Aha, there we go. Those. Good old sorting stick there. Let's see if that's, let's see, 7/16 by 70-inch sorting pole. 2 inches shy of being 6 foot. It's got some pretty good bend to it. It has all peanuts, isn't it? Let's see, they got them in there. Right. Looks like they got a blue one back here. And I think that's it. Alright, Caitlin, need your help. There's all 3 of these and they're all the same.
How about blue?
Which one should we get? Pick which one. Which one's going to catch a fish? Which color is going to get a fish?
Red.
Red to catch a fish? Are you sure about it?
It's so hard. I got this one.
So the red one?
I love red.
All right, we'll go with the red one. So we've got our rod blank, almost 6 foot long, fiberglass, 7/16, got some backbone to it. There we go. That's going to go in the cart.
I mean, jingle bells like that.
Honey, that's a little bit old. It's March. It's almost time for you to sing Easter bells. Can you sing Easter bells?
Not either bells.
Let's see here. That's a paracord. Probably wrap that around there. Make a good grip, make a good solid grip out of that. All right, Caitlin, which color?
Pick out a color. Got a color.
How about green?
The green one?
Uh-huh.
All right, throw it in the cart.
Whoa.
There we go. Good job. All right, let's see what we got here. Going to make some eyes.
I love red.
Well, I don't think I can make eyes out of square stock.
Oh, look one.
You're trying to sabotage me. Here's what you're doing, I think.
You want to do green? This one?
Let's see.
Yeah.
1/8 inch steel rod or 1/8 inch brass rod. Still a little bit stronger.
Look at that. Up here.
Cold rolled steel. Yeah, I can probably bend those around and make eyes out of them. Let's see, there's a gorilla. I've used this stuff before. This stuff works pretty good. Let's see what we got here. We got line guides, the rod. We got the stuff for the handle at home. We got the stuff to wrap the handle. You if I do this right, this thing even fit in a monster rod holder. One more thing. I need a Sharpie marker. We gotta sign this thing. We got a signature series. All right, we're going to get started on building this rod here. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create the line guides. And I think the best way that I can go about doing that, I've got a set of these drill bits that range all the way from 9/16 of an inch all the way up to 1 inch. I think what I'm going to do, I know those are round. I'm going to wrap our steel here around this drill bit, pull it off, and we'll work on bending it. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to cut all these at 6 inches now for a while. And then we'll trim off the ends afterwards. Alright, let's pull that one around. Here's our 3/4. Alright folks, that epoxy on this thing is set up overnight, and we are now ready to start putting the eyes on this rod. Now we're going to have to start. I'm going to use heat shrink tubing to attach some of this to begin with. All this needs to do is just hold this just long enough for it to, for us to be able to get those eyes wrapped. We have it's going to be real rough estimates here. We are at 56 inches. Actually almost spot on 56 inches. And we need to put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's put the first one. Let's put the first one about 12 inches from the end of the handle here, and that'll put it roughly, let's see, it's 12 inches. That puts that roughly 18 inches from the center point of the reel. That ought to be a good spot for it. Alright, that gets us started. Now we'll use the old heat gun. We're going to cinch this down and we'll work our way up the rest of the rod. That all looks good. Yep, that all looks good. So Kris, I haven't seen yours yet. I don't know what you've come up with. I imagine you've come up with something pretty good. But I think maybe I get some bonus points for at least looking like a fishing pole. We got our handle down there. We've got our guides. Let me see if I can get up here. You guys better look at that. Here's our first guide. Move down to our second one. Our third. Fourth. And our tip. And that leaves a little bit to be desired on that one, but that's the best I can come up with for that. So guys, I'm going to let this, we'll let everything, all the hot glue cure up for about 10 minutes or so, just to help keep everything in order. In the meantime, I'm going to get my braided line together, and we'll start getting these wrapped. And then once we get those wrapped and epoxied, the only thing we'll have left to do is put the slime green paracord that Caitlin picked out for the handle there. And then I've got one more thing to put on there. I think you guys are going to like it, and I'll show you that to you here in just a minute too. So guys, give me a few. We'll get everything together and we'll finish up this project. What is that?
A fishing pole.
It's a fishing pole.
And that's a green.
Yeah, that's green. So what's this thing?
A fishing pole.
That's a fishing pole.
That one might.
Alright, if nothing else, it's got Caitlin's approval. Look, everybody there. Stand up. Tell them what that is.
A fishing pole and green.
A Fishing pole and green. That's right. Alright, I'll let you go back in and watch Paw Patrol. Whee! Alright, we're back at it. Make sure everything clears. And this ought to be some pretty strong thread to hold those line guides on. Guys, I have about a full spool here of Power Pro 65-pound test braid. So let's go ahead. I think the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it just like you'd tie it onto a spool. Take and make a knot here. And we'll tie that around. We'll tie a slip knot and then cinch it down on there. So we'll bring it around. Tie our cinch knot. Alright guys, that took a whole lot longer than I thought it was going to, and I'm pretty sure I now have a case of carpal tunnel in both wrists. But I have gotten the line guides all thread wrapped. So this is what I've come up with to attach them. As you saw, I heat shrunk those to get them attached. And now I've used that 65-pound Power Pro braid and just wrapped that a bunch of times. Tied it off, and those will still that'll all get epoxied. And then there's that, and that one there. So a little bit change of plans. I'm going to end up doing the epoxy last. That way, once I get the epoxy on there, I can actually leave that undisturbed and let that set up and cure. But the next part I'm going to be taking this paracord, and I'm going to get the handle wrapped in that. And to do so, I'm going to be using a high temperature glue gun. We'll start that, nice little bead of glue there, get the first wrap done, and then we're just going to run us a couple beads along each side, and as we go around, pull that down into that hot glue. And when that sets up, that's probably going to be about as best as we can get. So we'll let that set up, and we'll get the glue gun out, and we'll get wrapping this thing. But before we get started, I'm going to put my gloves on. I have been burnt by these things before. It's not fun. I don't want to repeat that. The low temp guns don't really burn you too bad, but the high temp ones don't feel good at all. Show you where we're sitting at right now. We've gotten all the wrapping done. We've got the rod butt epoxied onto the rod. There's the handle. It just laid right there on that monster rod holder. we go. So we're going to take, I'm going to mix up some of this Gorilla Epoxy, and I'm going to brush this onto there. I'm going to work my way all the way up this rod here. Now folks, there we go. This has the all of the line guides have been epoxied. We're going to let that sit up and cure overnight. We have all that ready to go. We've got our handle, our rod butt. So all that's left is to let this sit up overnight, let all the epoxy cure. But guys, this rod is ready. As ready as it's going to be. I've got one more thing that I forgot to do. We're going to take care of that right now. We'll move the camera and show you the last step in this rod building. Guys, the very last step, we're going to sign this thing. Look at that. Weekend Angler on one side. Signature on the other. There's not going to find another one like it, because I guarantee you I'm not building another one of these. So this is a one of a kind. That makes it probably worth less than what the materials cost me now. Well guys, there you have it. That is the Weekend Angler Signature Series Catfish rod. It's not a Muddy River Catfish and Flathead rod. It's not a Tangling with Catfish rod. It's not a monster rod. It's not an ugly stick. And probably not even up to par with some of the Walmart specials that I've bought before. But it's my rod, and I built it. And I've got confidence in it for this competition. So guys, I know Kris is posting his video today as well. I'll put a link to his channel. Go over and see what kind of design he has come up with. I'm looking forward to seeing it as well, because neither one of us talked about how we were going to do our rod. So it's going to be a surprise to both of us there. Well guys, as always, thank you for watching my videos. Like, share, subscribe, and hit that little bell that's on the lower right hand corner of your screen. That'll let you know anytime I put up a new video or go live. Guys, the next video in this series is going to be putting the reel together, and then the fish off's going to come after that. So guys, make sure you take a look over at Kris's channel. Subscribe to him if you haven't already as well. That's Muddy River Catfishing. The link will be in the description of this video. Guys, take care. We'll catch you out on the water. We appreciate you watching The Weekend Angler.